had a gig doing some, well, she has a gig regularly over at Rockridge Retirement Community, and we decided, well, she decided we'd do this wonderful gospel show with Evelyn. So we just formed, are a new group together. Mary and I work together, Evelyn and Mary work together, Evelyn and I work together, and now it's really fun for us all to come together. We wanted to have a name, and so our new name as of yesterday is
Giving Voice.
So it's a joy to work with both of these amazing women, amazing musicians. Mary Witt, some of you might recognize. Mary does all sorts of things musically in the Valley. Notably, she's the founder and director of the fabulous group O-Tones. Check them out. Gigs coming up.
Yes, the last Sunday in March, there's a swing dance at Fox and Reed Performing Arts Center in Greenfield.
Yeah.
And then on April 11th, we'll be at High-Low in North Adams, new club.
So check them out, really fun band. Evelyn Harris, the amazing performer and expert in American music of all kinds. Yes, you know her from Sweet Honey in the Rock, but she's so much more than that. Beautiful jazz singer, beautiful R&B singer, beautiful gospel singer. It's a real joy to play music with her. Also plays with the Stompbox Trio that you should check out. You have a gig coming up, Evelyn, with Stompbox?
Friday night at Progression Brewery in Northampton.
So check them
Is that
out.
some
And you're
old
also doing a
blues,
present.
right?
Yeah.
You do some old
Classic.
blues.
Yeah, and you're doing a presentation this week. I read something about a presentation on the protest music or something.
Oh, in Holyoke, that's right, yes. As a part of the Sojourner Truth School for Social Justice Movements, Social Change. You know what I'm saying. I'll be doing a workshop on Monday evening at 4 something Main Street, Nueva.
Yes.
Yes, that's it. From 5 to 6:30. Teaching civil rights movement songs.
Wonderful. So I think we'll get started, and Evelyn, you're going to kick us off here.
And I want to say how honored we are to sing with Ellen Kogan and have her play really wonderful gospel piano music. It's a joy to work with you. You all are lucky to have her here.
The gospel song phenomenon in America came into existence during the latter part of the 19th century and early 20th century, and from its inception was connected with congregational singing. The name gospel was assigned to these songs because many derived from the first 4 books of the New Testament. Many of the texts dealt with the teachings of Jesus and the Christian church, and many of them, the texts were closely connected with the doctrine of salvation by grace. It became a regular part of church services and addressed common life experiences. It first became popular in the early 1920s as an indigenous product of the black church. Gospel music was most popular among poor blacks, though since the 1950s, middle class and wealthy blacks have exalted its virtues more and more. In contrast to the black spiritual, whose inception was in the cotton fields and the rural setting of the camp meeting, where large numbers of blacks gathered in the open, the gospel song came about in urban settings, when blacks began pouring into the nation's industrial centers during the second decade of the 20th century. They brought their joyful spirituals with them, but found the rural-born music to be unsatisfactory in urban settings and unresponsive to their needs. Consequently, the church singers created a more expressive music to which they applied the term gospel. Black gospel music became essentially the sacred counterpart of the city blues. sung in the same improvisational tradition with piano, guitar, and other instrumental accompaniment, whereas the spirituals were always sung a cappella, since blacks were denied the use of their African instruments by the slave owners. We are very, very happy to be here today. And we begin by sharing some biographical information about the composers, and then we'll perform their song, one of their songs. And I just want to say we had a soul-stirring experience learning this material, and we hope that you are touched as deeply as we were. James Weldon Johnson, 1871 to 1938. Born in Jacksonville, Florida, the future teacher, poet, diplomat, songwriter, and civil rights activist was the son of a head waiter. His father was a head waiter, and his mother was the first female black public school teacher in Florida. While attending Atlanta University, he taught for 2 summers in rural Hampton, Georgia. There, he saw life among poor blacks because he had been sheltered during his middle-class upbringing in Jacksonville. He was inspired by speeches of Frederick Douglass and the poems of Paul Laurence Dunbar, with whom he became friends. After graduating, Johnson became the principal of the school where his mother had taught, improving education by adding 9th and 10th grades. He studied law and became the first black to pass the bar exam in Florida. When Johnson's younger brother, Rosamond, graduated was one of the first to graduate from the New England Conservatory of Music in 1897, the two began collaborating on music, including our opener this evening, Lift Every Voice and Sing, which became known as the Negro National Anthem. Will all who are able please stand for the Negro National Anthem.
I'm going to tell you about Charles Albert Tindley, the next composer. He lived from 1851 to 1933. One of the founding fathers of the earliest form of gospel music, the gospel hymn, was a Methodist minister serving a congregation in Philadelphia as the stream of migrants from the South became a flood. Tindley was a minister who still remembered what it was like to have to leave. He had come to Philly when he was around 18, taught himself to read English, Hebrew, and Greek, and found work as a hod carrier for brick masons while working as a sexton taking care of his church. At night, he studied for the ministry and against all odds, passed his exams, and became an ordained Methodist minister. In 1902, Tindley became the pastor of the congregation he would lead for the next 30 years. Through his church, newly arrived migrants were led to night classes, given leads for work, were urged to use the church savings plan, which allowed them to save up for a down payment on a row house. Upon his death, the church membership topped 12,500. His composition, "I'll Overcome Someday," was the basis for the civil rights anthem, "We Shall Overcome," which was composed by artists at the Highlander Folk School in Tennessee in 1947. He was the first African hymn writer to have his work copyrighted. In 1901, he published a hymn collection called New Songs of Paradise and a collection of his sermons called Book of Sermons. We have chosen two of his most popular hymns, "Stand By Me" and "The Storm is Passing Over."
My soul, and let me journey on, though the night is dark and I am far from home. Praise be to God, the morning light appears. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. 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 The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over, hallelujah. Thunder rolling and billows shake the ground. See the lightning flashing and dark clouds all around. Jesus walks the sea and calms the angry wave. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. 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 The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. Soon we shall reach the distant shining shore. Free from all the storms, we'll rest forevermore. Safe within the veil, we'll furl the ribbon sail, and the storms will all be over. The storms will all be over. The storms will all be over. Hallelujah. 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 The storms will all be over. The storms will all be over. stand by me.
Stand by me.
In the midst of all my faults and my failures, please stand by me. When I do the best I can, and my friends, they just don't understand. Thou knows all about me. Stand by me. When I'm growing old, getting fever, stand by me. Stand by me. When I'm growing old, I'm getting a little fever, please stand by me. Stand by me. When my life becomes a burden and I'm nearing silly Jordan, oh, thou lily of the valley, please stand by me.
I'm glad to do the introduction for this next song. I love all of these songs. The next song is by Lucy Campbell. She lived from 1885 to 1962. Called the mother of gospel music, Lucy Campbell was born in a caboose in Duck Hill, Mississippi. Her father worked for the railroad and was killed in a train wreck not long after her birth. Her family moved to Memphis, where she became a school teacher and trained many young singers. She served as music director for the National Baptist Convention for over 20 years. In 1942, she was invited to the White House Conference on Negro Education. She became one of the most highly acclaimed of all gospel songwriters. A street performer was singing a religious song outside a Beale Street store when several men passing by asked to sing a blues song. Ah, yeah, okay.
Ask the street.
Yes, I got it. I was like, him or, okay, thank you.
It's all about improvisation, Ellen.
Whoops. Yeah, he refused even after the men offered him money. Lucy Campbell witnessed this incident and asked him why he refused. He told her there was something within that could not allow him to sing the blues. This is why I love this one. From that encounter, Campbell was inspired to write the beloved gospel tune, Something Within, the first of more than 100 songs she would eventually write, and we're going to sing that for you now.